Have you ever seen a leprechaun? Well, I have. My name is Darby O'Gill, and I live in Ireland, where they all live. Well, a leprechaun is like a little man who's about up to my knees. Fact is, many of the hours spent with the king of the leprechauns himself, King Brian Connors. Leprechauns are pretty valuable, you know, especially if you catch one. He'll give you 3 wishes to let him go. You can wish for gold or health or good crops, but most people wish for a crock of gold. That's what I wished for the first time I met up with King Brian. As I was saying, it wasn't just any old leprechaun that you wouldn't say hello twice to, but faith, it was Brian Connors himself, the king of them all, that I had my eye on. They can't escape, you know, as long as you don't look away. Well, on the night that I saw him, it was dark, and the mountain was covered with mist. The moon was no bigger than the light from a halfpenny candle. But that didn't hide him from me. There he stood under a white thorn bush with an angry little mug on him, and his face as fierce as fire. And before you could rest yourself, I had him. Death alive. He was an angry little man.
You murdering spalpeen, you tricky, deceitful, conniving, double-dealing, high-handed...
Oh, there, King Brian, me old boyo. I've got you at last. And I'll not let you go until you grant me the favour of 3 grand wishes.
Well, maybe we should talk this over. Here, have a pinch of snuff.
Oh, no, you don't. Unless you blow it into me eyes. I'm on to all your dirty little tricks.
No, you've gone too far. You'll get no wishes from me.
Either you'll give them to me, or I'll keep you here for a week with me eye on you.
Well, we'll wish you wishes and I'll be done with it. I have work to do at home.
Don't rush me.
Rush you? You mean you'll not wish for a crock of gold?
I made that in good time. But what's gold to a man and he too sick or too sad to enjoy it?
You're a thinking man.
I am. And my first wish is, you can give me help.
Granted.
My second wish is a small little wish indeed, but it means a lot to me. I want a grand big crop of potatoes.
Granted.
And my third wish is for the crock of gold.
Granted.
A fine big crock it is too. And all those gold guineas you want.
Now, what's your fourth wish?
A fourth wish?
Try me. You'll find I'm the generous man entirely.
Then I'll be a generous man. I'd like a crock of gold the size of this one for my good friend Tom Sheridan, and another for that grand man Paddy Scanlon, and another for that fine daughter of a woman, Molly Malloy.
Is that your fourth wish?
It is.
3 wishes I'll grant you. 3 great wishes are small, but ask for the 4th wish and you lose them all.
Wasn't I the fool of the world to let him trick me into that 4th wish? I knew better too. All my days I've been studying the little people, and I learned myself all about the leprechauns and their friends, the pookas, the animal spirits who live among the ruins on lonely mountains. And I read about the elves and brownies from other lands too, the kobolds living underground in Germany, the trolls in the big fjords of Norway, the dryads from ancient Greece, and the genies from the Near East. And the more I studied and learned about the strange creatures, the more I wanted to get back to King Brian himself. So I devised a plan to capture King Brian. It was a sly plan too. I knew Brian liked to visit Cleopatra, my horse. You see, Cleopatra was a puka, a spinner horse, And Brian, being king of all the little people and spirits, often visited the stable. So I hid myself out and I waited for him. Once I saw him, my plan was to keep him in my sight until morning. For once the cock crows, King Brian loses his magic. So I sat down and waited, and waited, and waited.
Darby O'Gill. You know, I never expected to meet up with you again.
It's an unusual coincidence, isn't it? I just happened to be here in the barn, doing my chores, you know.
That's nice.
It's so busy I've been. I've no other time.
Ah, well, get on with the job then. I'll talk to Cleopatra.
This is such a rare opportunity, King Brian, that I thought we might have a drink from the jug here, for friendship's sake.
Oh. Well, now that you mention it, my throat is a bit parched.
Then have a cup of me finest.
Here.
Thanks to you.
Oh. It drinks cruel easy, it does. Here, Darby, how about a song?
You know the wishing song?
I do not.
We better not try it then. You have to make it up as you go.
I can make up 1,000 songs.
All right. Oh, I wish I had time to sing you a song. But when I get started, I sing all night long.
I can put a rhyme to that. Oh, singing's no sin and drinking's no crime. If you have one drink only, just one at a time.
I wish all the rhymers were like King Brian Connors. When it comes to rhyming, he takes all the honours. Well, we sang verse after verse, and King Brian drank cup after cup of tea. But not me. Finally, just before dawn, he said,
How many verses have we sung?
Plenty.
Well, then here's another. Oh, I
Top of the morning to you, me bucko.
Why, you wicked old devil. You're blue molded for lack of a beating. You tricked me. You tricked me. Now I've got to get back to Knock-Nashida. Open your door.
Jump through it.
All right, I will.
I know you can't work your magic in the day. I've got you now.
Why, you murdering, deceitful, blind, staggering old bullifant. Oh, when my strength comes back, I'll put an elephant's head on you, and you'll crawl on all fours and eat grass that won't nourish you till you shrivel up and die.
Well, hullabaloo. Oh, good morning, Ginger. Nice. Have you come for your breakfast? There's a tasty bit that I've no further use for.
No, not me. No. Call him up, Darby.
Hey, why don't you shrivel him up and put a hump on his back?
Oh, have mercy, Darby. Oh, spare me. I'll give you 3 wishes all over again.
You hear that, Ginger?
Go on, wish then.
Well, I might wish for a crock of gold, or I might wish for long life, or I might wish for a coach and four.
Granted.
I haven't wished any wish yet. I said I might.
Well, get on with the real ones then. And since we've had such a grand night, you can have as many as you like.
Yeah, that's good of you. 3 wishes you'll give me. 8 wishes are small, but if I wish a 4th, sure I'll have none at all.
Oh, what a memory you have, you wicked old Scot.
Now, before I can wish, I've got to talk to my daughter, Katie. I wish one wish to protect the other 2. Now, my first wish is this. You'll not fly back to Knock-Nashida, but you'll be at my beck and call for a fortnight at least, until I thought of the rest.
Why, you thief of the world! Never in 1,000 years has any man taking such an underhanded advantage?
Faith, never in 5,000 years have you met so knowledgeable an adversary.
Look, I am Brian of Knockdashita, and never will I...
Hitting you.
No, take the cat away.
You accept the terms of the first week.
I do. But how will I protect myself while you're making up your mind?
Oh, don't worry. I'll take good care of you. I'll just slap you into this potato sack and keep you tied up.
You're the bloody old goat. You wicked old devil.
And that's how I captured Brian, king of all the little people. I carried him about in a sack wherever I went, even when I went into the fields to cut the turf. About this time, a young man from Dublin came to help me with my work. And he quick took a fancy to my daughter, Katie. Did I tell you about Katie? Maybe not. She is truly the love of my life. A fine breath of a lass, with a smile that would charm the fishes out of the deep and the little birds down from the trees. Well, as I was saying, I was in the fields to cut turf, and I was taking a short nap after lunch, when I was awakened by wonderful singing. It was Katie and Michael walking hand in hand, and they were singing.
Upon the other, match the likes of you. You are my dear, my darling one, my smiling and beguiling one.
I love the ground she walks upon, my pretty Irish girl.
I love the ground he walks upon, my pretty Irish girl.
Should I wish for happiness for me lovely Katie, or good health for Katie and Michael both? I still had 2 wishes left, and I couldn't make up my mind. Should I wish for a big house, or for a good crop? Finally, I decided to get help, and I took King Brian, still in the potato sack, to the Rathcullen Arms, a friendly public house where my closest friends often gathered at the end of the day.
And I tell you, Darby, you moil and meddle with that little king. He'll put the come hither on you and make you his slave forevermore.
Am I a babe in arms?
You are to the likes of him. 5,000 years old he is. And every year of his life he's learned a new trick.
And I've learned 100.
Ah, you're mad, mind you. You'll be caught like a rat in a snaptrap. No, I won't have your blood on my head. So don't go wishing any gold for me.
It so happens that I have in this here potato sack none other than King Brian himself.
Yeah, when the sky falls, we'll all catch larks.
King Brian is here to make sure my wishes are obeyed.
If that's the way it is, give him room. Give him room.
Oh, it's a lot of fooster.
Fact is, I don't think I'll wish for gold. I mind when I was a young lad, knee-high to a sod of turf, me grandfather Ted, God bless him, told me there was only one man in the town that was happy altogether. The village idiot.
Darby! Darby!
Did Your Majesty address me?
What's all the speech making? And you're standing for Parliament.
Can I get a drink, sir?
You can make a wish. Now get on with it.
I know what I'd wish for, Darby. As big as the castle at Pond.
Now, how would you take care of it?
Oh, I'd have the servants, too.
Well, you didn't wish for them. Not the money to keep it up. You'd have a house on your hands as big as a church and you as poor as a church mouse in it.
Well, now, did you hear that? Oh, he's got a head on his shoulders like that of Scotland. Where is the King, Darby? I don't hear anything.
He's here in the potato sack.
Ah, go on now. There's nothing in there but a rabbit.
Rabbit? You don't know beef or bull's foot. Tom Kerrigan, you know he's in here.
I know something's in there, Darby. It's about the size of a rabbit.
Don't you hear him talking to me?
No.
I didn't want to show him yet, but I'll give you the first look. Get ready for a grand surprise. It's no rabbit. Gentlemen, meet His Majesty, King Brian. Well, what's the matter?
Well, it looks like a rabbit to me.
What about you, Tom?
I saw a rabbit, Darby.
But how could you? He's there. And a grand sight he is, with his little gold crown and his red beard and his two eyes leaping from his head like flames. Oh, I wish you could see him.
Granted, and that's your second wish.
Why, you tricky, deceitful, conniving, double-dealing high.
Well, that's what comes of a man. Not your 310 Machinist, Westminster, intellectual, gladiator, 5,000 years old.
I still have me third wish. And maybe my second wish is not all wasted. Now go ahead and make yourself visible to him. There, Tom and Paddy. You see him now?
No, Darby.
I am visible to him. You wish that they could see me, and see me they do. They see me as a rabbit.
You're a cheat, and you're a liar.
Watch out, Darby. There he goes.
Oh, Your Majesty. Well, right, Your Majesty. When I wasn't looking, he jumped out of the sack and ran away. I ran after him, but he leaped behind a bush. I stumbled and fell on the sod, and all the time Paddy kept yelling, "Catch the rabbit, Darby!" Some people just don't understand. But I'd have a go at him yet. I was angry enough to catch him and hang a quarter of him from every beam in the barn. While I was looking for him, he was putting the comither on me, and I didn't realize it until it was too late. Just a few nights later, Cleopatra, my horse, wandered out on the lonely mountain Knocknashita. I went after her, never thinking that the scheming little heathen would be putting the comither. And it wasn't until the horse came to the ancient castle ruins that she turned and she changed right before me eyes into a puka. And she reared up terrible high, and I stepped back from her. I fell down an ancient well. I fell for it seemed like months. I landed in a dark tunnel. Far ahead I could see light and hear music. So I picked myself up and made me way to the light. There before me was a wondrous throne room. Thunder and fire, talk about music and dancing. I've never seen so many little people singing and carrying on. Kelpies and nixies, pixies and sprites, Oreads from the hills, and of course all the leprechauns, dancing and riding their white steeds. And the room itself was a wonder, rotten with gold it was, gold-crusted ceiling, and huge chests of jewels on the floor. And there, sitting on a wondrous throne, was King Brian himself.
Well, Darby O'Gill. You're as pleased and delighted I am to see you again.
Thank you, sir. You have a grand place here.
Well, it does well enough. Sit you down.
On where?
On that big chest. Go on, drop the lid, man, and sit down. It's only an old chest full of jewels.
Oh, look at them. Diamonds and sapphires and rings and brooches. Enough to make every farmer in County Kerry as rich as Midas himself.
Well, we took it from the Spanish ships when the Armada was wrecked on the coast.
Is that so?
Aye. And the ship's gone, too.
Oh, it's a fine piece. And the throne?
By all the goats in Kerry. Now, do you think that I'd sit up on a Spanish throne? Why, it belonged to Fergus MacLeod, the ancient High King of all Ireland.
Oh.
And there's the gold cup of Cormac. And here's the sword of Brian Boru, who drove out the Danes. And over beyond there, you'll see the harp.
Don't tell me. The harp that once through Tara's halls the soul of music said. Aye, I declare to me soul. When I tell this in the pub, they won't believe a word of it.
Well, you can't do that, Darby. Once you're here, there's no going back.
But I've got to get back to Katie.
Ah, don't you fret about Katie. She'll give you a grand wake, and then she'll forget you.
Now, what do you say about Katie?
Oh, calm yourself now.
What have I ever done to you?
Nothing.
Who's to tell stories about you?
You do, Darby.
Who makes the women mind where they throw their wash water when you and your lads are walking invisible?
You do.
And makes the men tip their hats to you, respectful to every furl of dust?
You. Ah, you've done grand, Darby.
So you put the committal on me. That's how you pay me back, you ungrateful, gliggering little franny. Ah, your heart's as cold as a wet Christmas.
Now you listen to me. I heard what they're saying about you down at the pub. I was there, you know.
So you made me the laughing stock. You've been a rabbit.
And do you think it was easy? Well, it was for your own good, Darby. You know, afterwards I got to think. Now, Darby's a fine adversary and a knowledgeable man. And 'twould be grand it would to have him here under the mountain. So I sent for you. And if you're the fine, decent man I think you are, you'd show a little gratitude.
Oh, I'm grateful.
Well, you can say goodbye to the tears and the troubles of the world outside. For there's nothing but fun and diversion here. Listen.
Once I was in the Magic Mountain, I was never to leave, or so said His Majesty King Brian. Of course, I could use my third wish to escape, but I didn't want to do that. So I got a wicked little plan in my head of how I could get out of the mountain. I remember what my grandfather Tig told me. He says there was 3 things the little people were mad after: dancing, whiskey, and hunting. So I says to King Brian, says I, fetch me a fiddle, and I'll play you a tune.
I have a fine harp here.
Ah, no, I'm no great hand with a harp. But give me my old fiddle, and I can play a tune worth going a mile of ground to hear.
Grand, grand.
Now, if you'll just be showing me the way out, I'll run home and get it.
Now, none of your tricks, Darby. I said you were here to stay. Now, here's a Stradivarius. It was presented to me by the Emperor of the Italian fairies in 1700.
I'd rather have me own.
Well, you can just make do with this one. Now, go on, man, try it. Go ahead. Give us a good tune.
My grandfather Tig told me the little people were mad after hunting.
Well, he wasn't far wrong.
Then I'll play you a fox chase.
Ah, the fox chase.
Well, first of all, you hear the gathering of the huntsmen, and the hounds at Gleilach, and off we go. While I was playing the fiddle, they were riding the fine white horses around and around. They were dancing and jumping off the cannon, and the horsemen were swirling about me feet as they jumped. Faster and faster they rode, and faster they danced, until suddenly the entire side of the mountain opened up, and they went riding out into the moonlight. Tally-ho, they cried, tally-ho! And soon they rode out of the mountain and left me alone in the cave. Quickly I put down the fiddle and began stuffing gold coins and jewels into a sack. Using my hands, I scooped up almost all the guineas. Then I started towards the opening in the mountain. I could hear the little people chasing the fox. Far away they were. I dragged the sack towards the opening in the mountain, I was almost there when... The mountain began closing. I hurried, but the sack broke open. And as I went back to pick up the coins, the mountain closed nearly shut. I dropped the coins and rushed to the wall, but it closed tight. I clouded the stone and pushed and shoved. A terrible fear came over me. Fear enough to turn a man to frog's jelly. Then I called, "Brian, let me out. This is my third wish." And the next thing I knew, I was lying on the ground near the well, and Cleopatra was standing nearby, calmly chewing the tufts of grass growing between the stones. I was cold and aching all over. Then I saw him again, King Brian.
You let me down, Darby. I could not deny you the wish, but nobody has ever been inside the mountain before and lived to tell it.
You got me there by trickery.
Aye, and you nearly got out by trickery. Darby, you're not long for this world.
Your Majesty, you wouldn't call the powers of darkness.
'Tis out of my power. Already they're on their way.
Listen, 'tis the scream of the banshee.
Aye, she cries when someone is to die. Here she comes, her white robe flowing. And behind her, the Costa Bower, the death coach, drawn by 6 black horses, and driven by a coachman with no head.
Darby, old girl, enter my coach, Darby.
Can I say goodbye to Katie?
There's no time, Darby.
No more time. Yes, sir, I'm coming. You can begin now, Mr. Coachman. I'm ready. As I rode away in the black coach again, suddenly King Brian appeared beside me.
Darby? I was going to leave you, but then I says to myself, Brian, says I, you should be at his side, dead or alive or horseback.
Well, then the truth of it is, I'm glad to see you.
Darby, me boy, we had great sport together.
We did.
You've been a grand adversary, and I'm sorry I am to see you come to this.
In the end, we all have to go.
That we do. Well, I wish I could go with you, all the way.
I wish you could, too.
And you a knowledgeable man. You've done it again. You've wished your 4th wish. 3 wishes I grant you. Great wishes are small. But ask for a 4th wish, and you lose them all. Goodbye, Darby, my friend. Goodbye.
He tricked me out of the death coach. And a greater favour no one could do for a man. They say I've seen the last of him, but I wouldn't make book on it. They won't have him up in heaven. He's a fallen angel, you know, and the devil himself couldn't hold him if he had him on his fork. Many of you may not believe what I've told you, but it's true, every word. Listen yourselves some darksome night, and you'll hear them, the little people, dancing and chasing foxes. Listen closely. Maybe you can hear them now.